What's up, Arizona? Welcome into something new. You're watching 12 Sports tonight on 12+. I'm Lena Washington. We'll catch up with the rest of the 12 Sports crew in just a moment. Every Thursday night, come hang with us. We're talking all things Arizona sports, telling you the important stories that matter to you, and introducing you to the people who inspire others in our community. This is 12 Sports Tonight, Arizona's original and longest-running sports show, streaming on 12+. Let's go.
Matt Ishbia, remember a few weeks ago, man, he was pretty adamant, like, change is coming.
Yeah, but they were going to take their time.
They're going to take their time on hiring a head coach. That's likely going to take the rest of May, I would bet. They're going to have a bunch of candidates do that. But, you know, change needed to happen within the front office. And he was like, hey, change. We're going to do a new culture, right? We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I don't know if this hit the mark, but they do have a new general manager. James Jones is out. Brian Gregory is in. Suns naming Brian Gregory their new GM. Joined the Suns front office a couple of years ago. Nearly 2 decades of college head coaching experience. He was assistant head coach at Michigan State when Ishbia was on the roster there as a walk-on. Jones, of course, had been the GM since 2019. He will stay on as a senior advisor. So James Jones gets demoted. This change, of course, comes after the Suns missed the playoffs for the first time since 2020, and of course, as we all know, had the highest payroll in the NBA, the most expensive payroll in NBA history. Arizona Sports' John Gamadoro is reporting that Gregory is going to report directly to Ishbia. So they used to have a bunch of voices in basketball operation. It will now start with Gregory. He's going to be the one voice and report directly to the owner. Guys, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this. I'll say this. This is not the change Suns fans wanted. Like, they wanted somebody from the outside who could really kind of retool some things. And I think this hire is going to be a little disappointing because he was part of the previous mess that's kind of all happened. And now
did he have a big voice?
That's what we got to find out too as well. I still think the owner calls a lot of the shots. But here's the flip side of this. If this is a guy the owner trusts to make those decisions, maybe it will work out and maybe the relationship is a little different. Remember, when Matt Ishbia took over the team, he didn't fire James Jones. He didn't change a lot basketball-wise. Now this is his own hire. There's only one person left to blame if this doesn't work. So this will be the new GM of the Suns, and he will lead the coaching search now moving forward, which we expect probably is going to end sometime at the end of May. They're going to have a long list of guys.
And it's Matt's money at the end of the day. And I think
his
he
call,
wants
right?
to win.
He definitely wants to win. And he's done a lot of different things to show that they can win. It just hasn't worked out on the basketball side yet. But they got a lot to fix. Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, likely gone. And this roster is in for somewhat of a rebuild the next couple of years. Joining us now to break down all things Cardinals draft. Look at this foursome right here, guys. How cool is this? We had to get a wider shot here on the desk. We got Mark May, Doug Franz here to join with us. Mark, we'll start with you. What did you make of the Cardinals draft and the grade for us?
I thought it was a decent draft. I gave them a C+ on it, and the reasons why is because it's a fluid situation. You don't know about the players that they have injuries. They had injuries in college, where they're going to play, if they're going to be able to pick it up and turn on the NFL. And there's a big transition period from college football to the National Football League. Will they pick that up? If you look at this Cardinals team, there are too many new faces on this team. How do you build continuity? How do you build that team in a short period of time before the season starts? So there's a lot of questions to be answered coming up.
Man, I think Cardinal fans thought it was a little higher. C+, Doug.
Hey, C's to get degrees, right? That's passing.
I said it was fluid.
Yeah,
It's fluid.
I'm a little higher than Mark, but not much. I would go with a B-. My reason why is I like a lot of the picks other than the first-round pick. A lot of these guys I think are great, and I don't mind what Mark was talking about. I think we can challenge those injuries and be able to push through, especially the corner from Michigan, Will Johnson. I like that pick. I would have even doubled down when you talk about injuries. I would have chosen Josh Simmons, the tackle out of Ohio State, and let him get better later. I would have been fine with that. That's why I go B-, because I don't like the pick of Walter Nolan. I don't hate him. I don't think he's going to be terrible. It's just, to me, there were about 3 or 4 other guys I think that I have a lot higher that would have been a better fit.
Nationally, really, there's a narrative about Walter Nolan's drive, his character. Jonathan Gannon was adamant that he's a good guy, and Walter Nolan said in his introductory press conference, you know, if you're my dog, I'll give you this shirt off my back. But if you both could expand on maybe reservations or expectations you have for Nolan, maybe starting with you, Doug. You said you didn't like the pick. Tell us why.
Well, when you said, you know, he's a great guy, so am I when I'm laying in my recliner chair. I'm a good guy too. And
how do we get you out of that chair, by the way?
It's hard to do. And then when Jonathan Gannon said that weird thing, well, just watch the tape. Well, guess they don't have Texas A&M tape. I kind of agree with him at Ole Miss. I thought he was okay at Ole Miss. But his Texas A&M tape, he played as hard as I do as a 50-year-old man. It just didn't make sense to ignore that portion. So I don't think there's enough there intensity-wise for me. But I do agree he got better at Ole Miss.
Well, Mark, what do you think about his motor? I mean, we know motor and violence is what Monty and Jonathan Gannon focus on when they're looking for a player.
Well, first and foremost, I'm shocked that Doug's only 50. But besides that, Louis Riddick at ESPN, I have a lot of admiration for Louis Riddick because he's done a terrific job not only as a player, but as an assistant coach in the front office, as a general manager. Here's a guy that knows players and breaks them down. The first thing he said was, this player's a loafer, which means he takes plays off. Now, when somebody in a front office position says that about a player, he's not going in the first round, in my opinion. Because how do you get that out of him? If he loafed in high school, if he loafed in college, if he loafed in another school in college, what's he going to do when he gets to the NFL? It's like, hey, we drafted this guy. We're going to be able to—
6 schools in 7 years.
We're going to be able to fix this guy where no one else could. So you've got to prove it to me now. He's got a big load to carry the first day he comes out in training camp, because he's got to show them it's not just one play here or there. It's the consistency. That's what makes you a good player and a great player in the NFL. Can you bring it 100% each and every down?
And on top of your point, Nick Saban added the other quote when he said, when this guy wants to play, he could be the best inside interior rusher and run defender in the game. That's strong, but whenever you tag it at that beginning, when he wants to play, all that does is feed right into March.
But then the flip side of this, guys, is does he have to be that right away? Like, look at the room that he's joining and the leaders he's going to get to learn from. Like, he can grow at his own pace, kind of like what JG was talking about. When you're behind the guys they signed in the offseason, Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, guys who've already been there too as well. Darius Robinson still has to learn. He doesn't have to be a superhero day one. He could just come in and be effective, kind of like Jalen Carter was for the Eagles.
He's got to be accountable though, on that from day one. I don't care if you're a rotation player to give guys a break. You've got to be accountable each and every down because they're depending on you. This is a National Football League. If you can't play up to the expectations, guess what? You're going to be on another team, and that coaching staff's going to be fired.
You got to prove it.
Yeah, you're a first rounder. You're expected to contribute. You're expected to show up. And like you said, those players are expected to hold him accountable as the new kid in that room. A lot of expectations in that room, let alone the team and the organization.
Well, and the other thing, Cam, like you're right, he doesn't have to carry the room. But the catch is, imagine at any employment situation in the world, and the first thing they say is, well, if this guy works hard, well, if she is committed. If that's the first thing out of somebody's mouth, that's already the reputation that's been built. There's already question marks there. That's the worst question mark you can possibly have.
All right, let's ask the biggest question of them all. You ready, Lena?
Let's do it.
Will they make the playoffs next year? Mark, we'll start with you.
I think they're going to go 9-8 just because they have a really weak schedule that they can work around, that they have a lot of games they're going to be favored in. And I think if this team stays healthy, they've got an opportunity to do that. But will it come together? One thing about this football team is I want to know what their identity is. Since they've been here as a coaching staff and front office, what are the Arrows or the Cardinals? What's their identity? What's the culture of this football team? If I can name a team like Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts in their defense, San Francisco 49ers, Shanahan.
Right.
You know, if you any team that you want to throw out there, you know, if you want to talk about just about any team that's in the National Football League, you can go to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
They've been close.
They don't have that.
They've been close to establishing that identity, like being physical. But what you're saying is they're not. Nothing is set in stone. We're like, this is the way they play. This is the way they do it all the time. The running game has been there with James Conner, but it's still nothing. They haven't won a bunch.
Right. It's not where you're going to face this team and say that really scares me.
Well, the identity they want to establish is being a playoff team, being a playoff contender. Doug, do you see them extending their season this year?
No, I think Mark's got a great point about the schedule. That really is important. They play both South divisions, AFC South, NFC South. Those divisions are trash. So that's a very good chance of having a 6-2 record right there. And if you do that, that might be enough to put you into the playoffs. Plus, I think that the 49ers are rebuilding. I'm not ready to say the Seahawks are great. So you're going to be in the mix all the year. But the NFC North is real. The NFC East is better. To be able to say you are one of the top 3 teams that don't win their division and win a wild card, I don't think so. And that means you've got to win the division. I don't think so.
We'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Oh, still wish he was staying here. Cam Scatterboo going to the Big Apple. One of the first names off the board to start day 3 was just the 3rd pick in the 4th round, right there by the Giants. It's the latest chapter in Scat's rise. Well-deserved. Had no FBS offers out of high school. Small school outside of there at Sacramento. Started at Sac State, then exploded at ASU. And I love this at the end. Out the door. He was always quick to credit Kenny Dillingham for helping him achieve all this success.
Just having him in the building and him as a coach and, most importantly as a person. I connected with him as a person. He's my friend now. And I'll always forever be in his corner, and I know he'll be in mine. So, that's someone that, I love dearly, and I care for him a lot. So I'm excited for his future, and, hopefully he's excited for mine.
Speaking of local kids, we're all about the local kids right here. Friday Night Fever, Arizona's longest-running high school football show. During the draft, number of former Fever stars heard their names called. Jake Garcia here with more. What's up, Jake?
Yeah, Cam, I don't have to tell you this, but Arizona has exploded into a high school football haven in recent decades. Seen in the number of 3-, 4-, and 5-star recruits who go on to play college football, and it's also seen each year in the NFL draft. In 2025, add 4 more to the Phoenix to professional pipeline. The local floodgates let loose in the second round of the NFL draft. Local products who are now pros. Hamilton's Tyler Shuck heard his name called first, but at 25 years old and the oldest quarterback in the class, it felt like he'd been waiting forever.
You didn't think, maybe it was possible when you're getting carted off the field, and but you kind of have that self-belief and the support around you.
Shuck dealt with a litany of injuries throughout college, but says he's stronger for it. Right down the road, Benjamin Morrison is singing a similar tune. The former Brophy DB had a first-round grade at the start of the season, but fell to day 2 after health problems with his hip.
It was a difficult year, and for me, it just feels like I can finally win again. You know what I'm saying? I finally got that small win.
Morrison now a Florida man. A workout at his old high school home earlier in the week proved critical.
I wasn't scared of showing what I could do, and I knew, even me at 80-85% is better than most people guys in the country, and I wasn't scared of doing that.
Brophy also helped build up the Cardinals' 5th-round pick. They supported local and drafted Denzel Burke. GM Monty Austinfort said the high school tie is nice, but the college reps against Marvin Harrison Jr. were the ultimate selling point.
We said it when we were in there, nobody's had to have a tougher assignment in practice the last 4 years than Denzel Burke. The guys he's had to cover in practice, holy smokes.
Iron sharpened iron as well for newest Eagle Ty Robinson.
Since I was 10, they kind of introduced the idea that, this football life could be a real thing and I could go really far with it.
Robinson praised the support system at Higley for getting him to the pros. His prep tape might have involved a different position.
Y'all go back and look. I used to play tight end back in the day.
But his transformation into a D tackle is still the talk of the town.
He's a giant human being.
Robinson, a district champion back in 2017. He joins the defending Super Bowl champs for his first season in the NFL.
Guys, here with the man of the hour, Larry Fitzgerald. Fitz, you've been doing this for 15 years. Well, what's changed in 15 years here?
Just one of those things that it's worked. It's been very productive, and people have enjoyed themselves from what they tell us. I don't really do a lot of changing. Honestly, I just try to make sure we're delivering the same quality of service every single year. I think the toughest thing has been able to consistently get good quality auction items so people will actually bid on it. Experiences that are, differentiated from anything that they can just go get themselves. And so I think that's some of the things that, you're always racking your mind. What would somebody like? Would they like to go to the U.S. Open, or is the Masters, or is the Super Bowl, or NCAA, or Kentucky Derby? You just want to make sure people are having things that they would enjoy doing.
Yeah, but to keep doing this all these years, Larry, to give back to a community I know you call your own, just how special is that? And every year it gets bigger and bigger, and your commitment to this valley remains the same.
Well, the commitment the valley has given to me has remained the same. So that's what we call loyalty. I give what I receive, and vice versa. And so, I'm very happy to be a part of this community. I knew from day one, moving in Ahwatukee, didn't know anybody there. My neighbors dropping off, baskets of fruit and dropping off linens for my everybody was always so nice to me from the day I got here. And so, but obviously I can't serve every single person, sure, but you have to do what you can, and I'm just very grateful to be able to do something like this.
You set such a good example, and the reason I said it because I was talking with Kyler Murray the other day, and he's going to do a softball game coming up, kind of like you used to do, and he was like, Larry's the guy who kind of set the example for all of us, and now you're going to be there at his event all these years later.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be supportive of the guys and the things that they're doing. If I think about the quality of the men that you have, in this league now versus when I came in 2004, just such high character guys. You look at Kyler, you look at James Conner, who, battled his way back through cancer to, be just a phenomenal football player. And then, I got a son who wants to play one day at the highest level. And you got guys like Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison, who, for as good a football players they are, they're still better men. And so, like, we're very fortunate to be able to watch these guys do something they really love. And there's guys that when my son puts on their jerseys, like, you're happy that they're wearing a jersey, somebody like that, because they're such high quality guys. So I'm happy to see Kyler just embracing, who he is in this community. Just so many young people look up to him, and to see him doing that really makes me happy.
Real quick, I didn't see Karibe's name on the guest list, but she has put in some orders. She would like steak and some dessert too as well to take back. Are you cool if I grab?
Did she bring her? Did she give you the credit card?
She did not. No,
she didn't.
She left it. She left it.
Kira, she always trying to get a freebie, man. She always trying to get a freebie, man. It's bad as Coop, man. Yeah, it's bad as Coop. Yeah.
Larry, congrats on 15 years, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Always good to see you.
Yeah. Guys, back to you. Joining us is a man I don't think needs an introduction, right, whatsoever. They've shortened your name now.
Yeah.
Luis
Right.
Gonzalez is a thing of the past. Just Gonzo, right?
Gonzo, yep.
We were talking about Corbin Carroll and the start that he's had to the season. I believe in March and April, he's now up to 9 home runs, and that's second most in franchise history, behind only yourself. What have you made of his start to the season so far?
Well, he's definitely off to a hot start. He's a great player, great person, first of all. And the way he approaches everything, he's a hard worker. I love the guy. He's a great kid. I just spent about 30 minutes with him in there, just sitting around the kitchen table, just talking baseball. And he loves the game. He's very passionate about it. He's very passionate about going out there and winning. And not only that, but he knows he's representing the state of Arizona and the Arizona Diamondbacks every time he either takes the field or he's in the community.
So what's he picking your brain about? It's like, hey, how can I catch your home run record for the franchise?
No, we don't talk.
How can I pass it?
No.
Like, is he asking you for tips that way?
No, we didn't talk about anything about that. I just obviously I told him, you're off to a great start.
Yeah.
Keep it going. It's a long season. Try to hold up that longevity. Right now, the way he's been swinging, he's been carrying our ball club for a while here. We've got a couple guys that we need to get going here, but his approach and the way he plays, he's the guy I'm sure the other teams circle saying, don't let this guy beat you because of the way he plays the game.
Paven Smith joining us now. Paven, what's the team feeling like these days? How's it going?
Oh, it's been going well. Got some good team camaraderie. Lost a couple tough ones in the last series, but we're ready to move on from that.
Paven, I look at the start you've had to this season. Would you say this is the most comfortable you've felt at the plate in your career?
Yeah, I think it stems off of a good end of last year and just building on that in the offseason and trying to continue it this year. Yeah, definitely feel confident going into the box.
Does it feel different, or does the ball look like a beach ball when it's coming at you? Because you've been hitting some monster home runs out of the ballpark.
Yeah, I think it's just the game slowing down a little bit. You can try too hard sometimes,
Sure.
and the ball speeds up a little bit. So just trying to relax up there and slow things down.
I don't know how much you pay attention to some of these numbers, but I'm just going to read a few off for you. Career high in walk rate, career high in hard hit rate. You're top 5 in baseball and in hunting fastballs. How much of your early season success has just been about dialing in, trying to find your specific pitch that you can do damage with?
Yeah, I think it's my approach always is just being aggressive, and I've always had a good sense of the strike zone, so just trying to find my pitch, look for when I can lay off, and then automatically just shut down if I don't feel like it's a good pitch to hit.
Haven, we were talking with Torey Lavelle the other day. He called you an organizational success story. Obviously, a former first-round pick, still here. It was 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
They're crazy. Yeah. But the team kind of doubled down on you this year. They want you to be the DH. They believed in you. I guess, what did all that mean, and what does it kind of mean to have all this success finally pay off all these years later? 8 years is a long time to still be at it.
Yeah, it's definitely a vote of confidence from the team. Giving me this role and this opportunity, and just trying to make the most of it. It's a long season, though.
Sure.
There's definitely going to be some downtimes this year, and just trying to just not make them as long.
How'd you stay patient through all this time, through all these 8 years, and just getting to this point now where they, want you in the lineup almost every day?
Yeah, I think this is the right time. I don't think I was ready. Definitely had to work through some things. This game's definitely hard, and trying to make adjustments and, feel like it's the right time.
We are joined by the skipper, Torey Lavelle. Torey, good to see you, man. And this is kind of cool having you stop by our desk here.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you guys having me. It's really cool for me to be here with you guys, too. Big fans of you guys. I love Channel 12. The fact that you're carrying our games right now, it's a perfect storm for me.
Okay, read the last line.
For those of you who don't know at home, Torey Lavelle had a very entertaining exchange with an umpire early in the season. What kind of text did you get after that? The memes were fantastic. The facial expressions were great.
That's good. I get very intense, right? I feel like I'm a pretty even keel guy, but I spike, and when I get up into that red zone, it's not pretty. I got texts from friends, family, and my mom every once in a while is like, I don't like a couple of words you're using,
just a
Tori.
few.
One that starts with the F. Can you knock that off from now on? So I try to, but I can't.
Mom, we'll work on it.
Yeah.
We got you.
Tori, I know you've talked about it before, but I don't think you've talked about it with us. And that's your dad, Sam, who unfortunately has passed on. But for those of you who don't know at home, Sam Lavello, his dad, produced Hee Haw for years, and you grew up with some interesting neighbors.
I did. First of all, thank you for giving me a chance to talk about my dad. He was my hero. I think about him every day. You know, for everybody that's lost their father and sitting in this part of your life, you understand what I'm saying. So he was a great man, and he was the executive producer for 25 years for a show called Hee Haw. You say that in the wrong sound to the wrong person, they fall off their chair with laughter.
Sure.
But it was a great show, and I saw him work so hard. He developed relationships. He made good things happen for that show, and I'm so proud of him and so proud of what he did for country music.
And Mark, it makes sense why Tori's the man that he is, right? And that's what you're big on, Tori, relationships. What do you think he would think of kind of everything you've accomplished? Have you ever wondered that?
Yeah, he'd be really proud of me. I know for sure. He didn't get a chance to see me manage one game here. He passed right before I managed my first game. But I know that he'd always talked to me about different things and different gears and different ways. And it was about life and about being a good young man and treating people well. And when he was talking to me about that, he was a great example because I watched him do it every day. Yeah. And I saw him tie in some really talented musicians and artists. And yes, it wasn't uncommon for me to walk home and see Loretta Lynn sitting at the dinner table when I got home from baseball practice. He was as kind to them as he was to us, and it meant so much to him.
We've seen this team win in several ways. I mean, your offense explodes. You've won in shutout fashion, winning in extras. But have you been able to kind of establish the identity of this team yet?
The identity is just pretty resilient, really. You know, even going back to that game in Chicago that we unfortunately wound up losing, you know, still to put up 8 runs on a back end bullpen like the Cubs have, still it's impressive. So yeah, I think that's just kind of part of the culture we've kind of cultivated here, is just a resiliency. And you know, until the 27 outs made, you know, we're still in the game.
Absolutely. In terms of your stuff and your start so far this season, is there something that you're most pleased with, things that you worked on in the offseason or focuses that you really wanted to lock in this year that you're really impressed with so far?
For me, the biggest thing is always delivery. So I don't feel like I'm quite there yet. I feel like we're heading in the right direction. Obviously, not up to the start I envisioned, but at the same time, it's a long season. I've had seasons where it started really well and just kind of, you know, for whatever reason, ran out of gas at the end or whatever. So yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction. I think the biggest thing for a pitching coach just in general, for, you know, even going to Little League all the way up to the big leagues, is just kind of keeping your pitchers inside the guardrails, really. I think, especially at this level, guys are pretty good at what they do. They kind of have an idea of what they're trying to do and what makes them successful. So just being able to keep guys in that lane on the highway so that way they're not, you know, veering into traffic, I think is the biggest thing. So for me, that's kind of the biggest thing. Just keep me inside the guardrails and it should be fine.
That will do it for us this week. Thank you so much for watching 12 Sports tonight on 12+. Catch us next Thursday, same time, same place. Don't forget, get the best sports coverage in town right here on Arizona Sports Station, morning, noon, and night on 12 News. And if you miss us, just head over to 12news.com, our 12 News YouTube page, or right here on the 12+ app on your TVs, and follow us on social media, of course. I'm Lena Washington. We'll see you back here Sunday night at 10:30 for 12 Sports Tonight.